Hi there, how's it going? I hope everyone can hear me. I see that a lot of us have gotten started on the exercise, so I'll quickly go through this so you guys have more time to code rather than just listen to me, right? Which one's more fun? But anyways, today we're here to build a TinyMCE LMS editor using React, and then there's going to be this component of OpenAI integration where you're going to be integrating with OpenAI's API in order to get TinyMCE's AI assistant working. So, okay, my slides do work. So a little bit about me. I started off as a developer, and now I'm in developer relations and marketing, which is just the kind of org that I'm in. Still a developer at heart. I work with TinyMCE, which is a rich text component that's used by over 1.5 million developers and counting around the world. And if you don't care about any of that, fun fact about me, I love to travel and I've visited over 30 plus countries. So I would love to hear from you if you are a traveler as well. And then if you have any questions during the exercise, of course, I will be there on the Discord. But anything after, feel free to hit me up at Sugosh on all of these social media platforms. Sounds good. So today, what are we going to do? I'm going to give you a little bit of intro to what is TinyMCE. And a little bit of introduction to Forge Day, which we already got. And then we're going to go through a few things, right? Setting up TinyMCE, adding some basic plugins, adding the templates, adding the AI assistant. That's what I will be walking through, but you get 45 minutes first to try to hack that yourself. And then finally connect it to OpenAI's API. I will say, I think the order of difficulty does increase as you get to step 5 and 6. The AI assistant is pretty simple to plug in, but configuring the API call, those things are a little harder if you don't understand OpenAI's API completely, but that's what we're here for today. We'll learn that. And then finally, we'll have some questions and answers in the end. So let's get started. So here I'm going to be talking for about 5 minutes. Then you should have about 55 minutes-ish for solution phase. And I guess we already used up some 15 minutes. So let's say you have 45 minutes for building out some stuff. And then 45 minutes, I will go through the solution myself about how I would approach all of these challenges. And then, of course, I'll leave some question and answer in the end. My hope is 10 to 15 minutes. If it goes longer, again, I'm happy to chat offline. So what is TinyMCE? TinyMCE is a JavaScript-based rich text editor component. So if you've ever been in full stack development application or, some sort of web developer, you've probably come across a rich text editor component, or if you've just used websites, like for example, the screenshot over here shows Shopify, and the product description, that box that you type the product description into in Shopify is actually a TinyMCE editor. So if you've ever typed a piece of rich text on the internet at any point in your development career or just in any point, you have most likely used TinyMCE. It has integrations with Angular, React, Vue, which is kind of the center and focus of this conference, but it also has 9 integration outside of just Angular, React, and Vue. So Blazor, Laravel, you name it, TinyMCE has a React integration. And then there are 2 ways to deploy TinyMCE, the TinyCloud CDN or the self-hosted version. The TinyCloud CDN is great just because we don't have to sit and configure where you're hosting all of your JavaScript files. It's a lot lighter and a lot easier to use. And so for this exercise, we are using TinyCloud. But if you in the future have a project that you want to self-host or you want to host it locally, you are more than welcome to use the self-hosted version. So there are 2 deployment options. So when you go to tiny.cloud/get-tiny, you will see those 2 options. We are doing the cloud version, just so everyone has clarity on that. Now, what are we trying to build? We're trying to build this, which is a mock LMS editor. LMS, if anyone doesn't know, it stands for Learning Management System. Think about Canvas, Blackboard, anything that you've used in university with your professors to submit assignments, ask questions, discuss things, or even in high school. Those are all learning. Moodle, those are all learning management systems. And TinyMCE is a great editor because it comes with so many features out of the box that would just support your user experience if you're building a learning management system. So what are we trying to build today? We're trying to build just the editor. The other parts of this, like the nice looking sidebar and the question and the discussion, all of that, I've done a quick little bit of coding and put it into the boilerplate code. So if you want your project to look nice, you don't have to worry about all of the other things. We're just going to be focusing on the editor today. So I hope that clarifies what the boilerplate code is. Now, the second part is outside of TinyMCE, what is OpenAI? It has powerful AI models. It's a generative AI API platform. The specific API that we're going to be touching, the endpoint, is called chat completions. So that's a little bit of a hint right now if you're listening in. And why did we decide to put generative AI into TinyMCE? It's because it really enhances text editing if you think about it. It has content generation, summarization, grammar correction, but just so much more to enable your end users, which is why we have an AI assistant on TinyMCE. It's not just for the buzzword, it's because it really fits into our users' experience and workflow. So that's kind of why we did it. And we would love to see and hear your thoughts on our AI assistant. How do you integrate it? When you get to that step, you have to obtain API keys from OpenAI. So you have to create your own account. Then you use the TinyMCE AI assistant, which means you go to the docs and see how that would work. And then you incorporate OpenAI's text generation and analysis capability using the AI request promise that you need to write up the function for, which I will, of course, help do. Now, resources. So there's the official Forge Day instructions, which I have a link provided in these slides. The link to the slides is also on the slides as well as on the Forge Day instructions. So it goes vice versa. If you lose one of them, you should have the other. The GitHub repo is the most important. It has all the starter code. You also need to sign up for TinyMCE. You need to sign up for OpenAI. And I would go and quickly look at TinyMCE's React component if I were you before starting this, just to understand how it works. A quick overview, it's not a separate component. We don't build it separately. It's just a UI wrapper on top of our core TinyMCE component. It's the same for Angular, Vue, and all of that. It's a wrapper around our core components so that your React component will work very well with your React application. That's kind of the goal at the end of the day. So I don't want to hold you up too long just listening to me, because the most important thing here is for you to start coding. So I would encourage everyone to go ahead and start setting up TinyMCE. And yeah, so actually I will leave these resources up, and then I'll maybe start putting the links for these in the chat so we know what it is. Or let me put the links for the chat, and then let me put the goal on what we're trying to build today. I think this is a good way to leave it up. So yeah, you guys have 45 minutes, and I'll be hanging out over here answering any questions. I'm happy to jump on a screen share if I see too many of the similar questions for people to get started. And then I'll be putting the links in the chat as well. Let's see if some moderator can help me do that too. Awesome. So there has been a few questions about how do you get started, a little bit of a confusion on the step one, and I would hate for everyone to get stuck on step one of the exercise. So what I'm going to do is actually, let's see, is there a way to stop the screen? Yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen. And I'm going to start with this tab first. So step one asks for a few things, and I want to offer some clarification on what we are asking. So first, go over here to clone boilerplate code to get started. If you haven't used or set up your own React app in the past, there is an option to do that and follow along. But if you have not done that, I would just highly recommend going to the boilerplate code. What I've done is I've already set up an application for you, so you don't have to do this all from scratch. So if you just go there, clone the code from that GitHub repo, what you can do is run npm i, npm run dev, and this sort of screen should appear on localhost 8080. That's how you get started, okay? And that's why I said that option 2 is recommended. Option 1, you can still do this, but it's not going to be you're going to have to build out like the other things as I mentioned. The second part of this is what you do to install TinyMC's React component, but how do you get started with the cloud API key? So what you have to do is go open up the docs for the React Quick Start Guide, which is linked over here, and then go and create an account on TinyMCE, right? And there's a free version of the account. We're not asking you to pay for a free exercise. Just create a free version of TinyMC's account, then go to the account dashboard and you'll see this React code snippet. Just copy it and you'll be able to paste it into your boiler code to get started. I've given a little hint on how to make it look nicer, like add it as a component potentially. But that's how you get started with step one. I don't want to give you the answer because this is a coding challenge, but I hope that helps answer the question. Another question that I saw very commonly on Discord was the question about, do I have to pay or do I have to upgrade your plan? For this exercise, you don't have to upgrade the plan. Of course, if you end up using this for a project in the future, or another side project, we would recommend upgrading it if you want to use some of your upgrade features. But yes, you do not have to click on upgrade your plan. You have a 14-day free trial when you sign up for a new TinyMCE account. So just please feel free to use that and you don't have to do anything with it. I hope that helps everyone. I just wanted to quickly pop in and mention that. And yeah, so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I'm gonna go back to answering questions on Discord as well as StreamYard. Hopefully that helps you. Thank you.